Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Miles, I use they, them pronouns, and I like to talk about books. So, today I have kind of a fun little idea that kind of came to me by accident. Let me see, it is March 8th, and I have read a book every day this month so far, just kind of completely on accident. And I was kind of sitting around yesterday and I was like, what if I did this the whole month? Which maybe since I'm already doing it, like sounds kind of easy, but I think I might also kind of hate myself in the future. We'll see. But I thought it would be fun to take you guys along with me, and even though we're starting 8 days late, on a little month of reading one book every single day. And to make this a little easier for myself, I have some rules in mind. I don't have to read one a day. If I don't finish a book today, for example, I can make it up by reading 2 tomorrow or 2 another day. Hopefully I won't get too far behind because otherwise that sounds really exhausting, but I'm not trying to freak myself out too much. And then also I am going to be counting like poetry collections, novellas, and like short stories over like 50 pages towards this, and long poems like for class and stuff. Just again, like I can kind of fall back on that in case I start freaking out. But so yeah, I've already read 8 books so far this month, and I thought I would just look at my Goodreads really quick and go over them with you really quickly. First, on the first, I read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I read this for my romanticism class, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I gave a presentation to the class. I just wrote a paper that included it a lot. I really enjoyed how the romantic ideals of innocence and experience were reflected so heavily in this. How through the few years that this book takes place, the creature goes through the entire cycle of innocence and experience, and how he's kind of like fucked from the beginning because he was abandoned by Frankenstein. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really interesting. I loved the creature. I felt so bad for him. The ending made me really sad. Anyways, Frankenstein, 4 out of 5. On the second, I read The Hole by Haruka Oyamada, and I also really enjoyed that. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It is about this Japanese woman who moves into the countryside with her husband, kind of against her will, and she falls down a hole one day. And like, it's a very short book. It was like 120 pages, so I'm not going to tell you that much more, but it provides a lot of interesting commentary and insight on like the roles that women are kind of forced to take in Japanese society. And there's also a lot of parallels with American society as well. So I really enjoyed that. It was just a really wonderful, like strange, surreal little book. Next, I read Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, and I also gave that 4 out of 5 stars. I really love the TV show. I liked the show better just because, I don't know, I felt like you just can't beat like the casting. I did listen to the audiobook that was narrated with a full cast, including David Tennant and Michael Sheen, and that was really fun. But like, it's still not going to be as good as seeing them acted out on screen because they're just perfect for the roles. There's also like some dated things about the book, like just some jokes that I didn't like and things like that. So, Good Omens, 4 out of 5. Then I read Stone Animals, which was a long-ish short story by Kelly Link, and I gave that a 3.5. I liked the reading process. I thought it was interesting, but I don't know what happened at all. It's like this family that moves into a haunted house, but the house isn't haunted. Like, all of their things become haunted, and there's these weird stone rabbits on the porch. And then the rabbits keep coming to the house, like hundreds of them. And like, it's basically just follows like everyone's descent into madness. It was pretty crazy, and I don't really know what to think about it. But I did like it. Like, it was well written, and Kelly Link has been hyped up to me for so long. So I'm glad I checked it out. I really enjoyed her. I'm excited to read more by her. Then I finished The Deep by Alma Katsu, which I rated a 3.5. I will probably go on to talk about this more in like a wrap-up, But Amakatsu and I have an interesting relationship. I've read The Deep, I've read The Hunger, and I've enjoyed both of them. Like, I thought they were fine. They were fun, they were spooky, but I don't understand or really agree with the way that she fictionalizes, like, real events and real tragedies specifically. So, like, in The Deep, she also did this exact same thing in The Hunger. She took two real men that were on the Titanic, real people, used their names, their backstories, that they were boxers on the Titanic, and created, like, a gay subplot for them. I love gay subplots. I'm a gay person. But it just feels unethical to make a subplot like this and kind of, like, play God and make these decisions for real people that died on the Titanic. Like, that just feels really strange to me. And from what I understand, like, every character in this book was a real living person, and she uses their name, and that was just kind of crazy. And so I just don't know how I feel about that ethically. So 3.5. I enjoyed the book, but I do have some, like, fundamental, like, just confusion about why Almakatsu does what she does. Next, I read Moominland Midwinter by Tove Jansson, and I also gave that a 4 out of 5. I've had a really good reading month so far. Like, most things have been 4 out of 5. I love the Moomin series. I have loved it since I was younger, and this was my first time reading one of the books in quite a while, and they're just beautifully illustrated. They make me so happy. Just, like, the perfect, like, serotonin boost to my little sad brain. And this one focuses on Moomin wakes up in the middle of winter. Him and his family usually hibernate through the entire winter. And Moomin Troll wakes up and his whole family's asleep and he feels so lonely. But then he goes outside, he's never seen snow before, and he finds this whole community and he realizes that, like, maybe winter isn't so bad. Like, maybe winter needs to happen so we can appreciate the spring. I love this book. It is so, once again, it's so, like, surreal and strange and fun and handles some, like, adult topics in a really good, like, important way for children. I love it. I'm so excited to read more from this series. And then yesterday, my 7th book so far this month is I Love You, But I've Chosen Darkness by Claire Watkins. And I also gave it a 4 out of 5. It was really interesting. It follows this woman who happens to share the exact same name as the author and, like, the same life events, who her mom died from an overdose and her dad was, like, one of Charles Manson's right-hand men. That happened in real life for Claire Watkins as well, and she fictionalized it, so she called it, like, auto-fiction, which was interesting. And it's just kind of the same brand of, like, that, like, female manipulator, like, cool girl book, like Milk Fed and Pizza Girl, but I felt like this had a little more heart to it. Like, I enjoyed the familial backstory that was such a backbone to this book. I really appreciated that, because I really like to have, like, a strong familial understanding of the character. And especially when this book dealt with so much, like, generational trauma and motherhood, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. So that's everything I've read this month so far. 7 books in 7 days, completely by accident. And so I was like, maybe let's just see what happens. So right now, I am listening to Yellow Jessamine by Caitlin Starling. I'm reading The Lighthouse by Alison Moore. I just randomly picked this up because I really like lighthouses. It's not really about lighthouses, but I'm actually really enjoying it. It's a very quick read. I'm, like, halfway through it already. About this man that is going through a divorce, and he's in Germany for a walking holiday. And it's just kind of, like, exploring all of the people that he interacts with, and I don't know, it's really well written and just really interesting. Pretty, like, boring, but in a good way. So I'm reading that. I'm reading Yellow Jessamine by Caitlin Starling, which is, like, this gothic lesbian novella, poisoning. I think there's drugs, but, like, Victorian drugs, maybe opium. Good stuff. I'm going to the library for a little bit to study, because on top of this little challenge that I've set for myself, I'm back in school now, and I have a shitload of work to do. So who knows how this is going to hold up. But, like, I don't know, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. We'll see how it goes. But I will check in next time I am reading something. And I'll talk to you guys later. Hello. I totally forgot to check in yesterday after I finished my audiobook while at work. I finished Yellow Jessamine and I gave it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's not going to stick with me very long. I liked the overall vibe of it, like a Black Widow vibe, a Victorian, sapphic, gothic relationship. It was really interesting. Honestly, I hate to say this about novellas, but I wish it was longer. I would have enjoyed it more if it was longer and I could get like a little more attached to the characters, but I did like it and I would recommend it if you're into that kind of stuff. I am currently like 80% through of Florida by Lauren Groff, which is a short story collection where all the stories are set in Florida. So I've been really enjoying that so far. I'm currently writing a story about Florida, and so I'm trying to read as much Florida content as possible to really get that in my head. And this is definitely very helpful for that. It's giving me a lot of ideas that I haven't thought of yet. I think I'll update y'all tomorrow and make like a little TBR plan, a vague TBR for the rest of the month, just so I kind of have like books to pick from. So this journey is going okay so far. It's day 9 and we're doing good. We're doing good. So I'm hoping that we can keep this momentum. I feel like I'm gonna flash forward to like a week from now and be like, I hate my life, why am I doing this? But for now, I'm having fun. I'll check in with y'all soon. Hello, it is the next day. Yesterday I did not finish a book. So day 10 was the first fuck up. However, I finished that book this morning. I only had like 30 minutes left on the audiobook, and that was Florida by Lauren Groff. I gave it a 3-star. I really liked some of the stories, and I liked the overall vibe and the overall, idea. And I really enjoyed some of the stories. A lot of them felt really, really similar though, like more than just coincidental. Like a few of them, it felt like they just had the exact same premise and then was written slightly differently. Like there were just two about like these two kind of like millennial, slightly older, like white women that liked to go on walks a lot. And we're talking about very similar things that happened in the same neighborhood. And a few where it was like a person from Florida and another country, and the things that happened and the overall tone was just really similar. So that was kind of, I didn't really enjoy that. But there was some good stuff going on. I really liked some of the stories. But anyways, so I did finish it, and I do have to read another book today. I am working on The Lighthouse by Alison Moore. I'm hoping to be finished with it today. It's not my favorite thing I've ever read. It's really well written, but it's just kind of like nothing's really happening. Like it's kind of one of those books without a plot, which is okay. But so yeah, that's what's going on there. And I am going to show y'all, I just put together like a little bit of a physical TBR. Nothing super strict, but over the next month, I'm going to be looking at my bookshelf, like what should I fucking read? And I'm trying to knock out some books that I've been meaning to read for a long time. So I'll take you over to my bookshelf and we can look at what I am planning. So this is the physical TBR on top of my very, very messy bookshelf. Just a few things that I'm thinking about reading this month. Some things that I've had for quite a while that I've been meaning to get around to. Lots of like novellas and poetry and short stories, because I think that'll kind of help me in a pinch. I also have, not really here, but a few graphic novels that if I'm struggling, I can turn to those. So yeah, this is a vague TBR. I also have a lot of audiobooks and stuff on my Libby, but these are some goals. So that is what I'm up to right now. I do have some homework to do, so I think I am going to walk to the library. On my way to the library, I might stop and read for a little bit, just out at the pasture. If I go, I will show you. I'll take you with me. And yeah, I'm gonna go to the library, do some homework, and then hopefully I will finish this tonight. So we'll see. Good morning. It is 7:30 right now. I just woke up a little bit ago and I was too tired to finish The Lighthouse last night. I only had like 20 pages left though, so I just woke up and read the rest of it. So we are on track. I still need to read one more book today to stay fully on track, but we're doing good. And I really enjoyed The Lighthouse actually. It was something I normally wouldn't have picked up. I didn't know what it was about. It was just this very like slow, mundane, melancholy fiction. It's about this man who his wife leaves him and he goes on a walking holiday in Germany, and it follows him and then the woman that owns the inn that he goes to on his first night of his trip. And they are both just extremely like deeply lonely and unhappy people, and it was just a really deep look into each of their minds and their pasts and their whole lives and like what brought them to this moment. And their paths don't really even intersect, which I thought was an interesting choice. They do a little bit, but you know, there's not much interaction there. So I thought that was an interesting choice. The ending was also really ambiguous, which I haven't really seen in a like non-horror novel before. So I thought that was really cool as well. So yeah, The Lighthouse by Alison Moore was surprisingly good. I forgot to mention this yesterday, but I did get an audiobook of Toni Morrison's Beloved, and I started listening to that. I'm about 20% through. So I'm going to keep listening to that today. I have work this morning. And yeah, I will keep you updated. Beloved is amazing so far. It is really also really sad, but beautifully written. I've also read The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and I thought that was amazing as well. So I'm going to listen to that, and I'm also going to start another physical book today off my little TBR that I showed you yesterday. So that's what I'm up to. A lot is going on, and I'm excited. Still haven't lost momentum. I'm still pretty, like, early into this. I think it's day 11, yeah. And so I'm just, like, kind of waiting for things to get worse. As bad as that sounds. I'm waiting to start feeling tired of it and to not really want to read, but I love to read, so it's going okay so far.
And wake siren, because you always want to read your new books first.
Hi, so it is the 12th now, and I'm still right on track. Currently, all day, I have been reading Kissing the Witch by Emma Donoghue, and it's been a snow day, so I've just been over at my girlfriend's, and we have been reading pretty much all day long. So I'm almost done with this. I'm at 195 out of, like, 220, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very much like The Bloody Chamber, like it's these fairy tales retold through like a feminist lens, but it came later after that. I think it's from 97 or something, but I'm really enjoying it. It's also very sapphic, so I'm really liking this. I really love the cover as well, and like the print in here. I don't know. This is just a really nice like shaped book. Okay, and then I had to check in because I got some really exciting book mail today from one of my favorite authors, Gabino Iglesias. He sent me his book Zero Saints, and he signed it and everything, and seriously, when I got the package, I like screamed. I am so excited to read this, and I can't believe that it came from him and he signed it, and I'm just like, ah! Anyways, and then I also, this is more exciting, I have an arc for his new book, The Devil Takes You Home, and it comes out in August this year. Yeah, it comes out in August. I just like can't even describe how excited I am. I'm sure you can tell, but like this is the first arc that I've ever received, and Gabino Iglesias is one of my favorite authors. His book Coyote Songs is like one of my favorite books of all time. And I cannot believe that he was so kind to send me these. Like, it means so much. And if you're watching, thank you so much, Gabino. I know I'm gonna love these, and I cannot wait to read them. So yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. My girlfriend today is reading I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which she gave 4 stars. She didn't like the ending, which is fair. And then she's reading Mooncakes, which I have talked about previously. So yeah, that is what I've been up to today. Very, very exciting, and also reading a really good book. So it's been a good day. Hello. Am I talking to you right now just so I can procrastinate my homework? Yes, I am. I'm currently reading what is going to count as my book of the day, which is the play Manfred by Lord Byron. It's for my romanticism class, and I'm enjoying it. Like, it's objectively good, but I am just not motivated to read it. I'm just tired and bored and in the mood to read, but not in the mood to read like this. So that kind of sucks. I'm listening to an audiobook and reading it at the same time to kind of like really keep me busy. There's only 25 minutes left or so of the audiobook, but I'm still just like struggling. I've been trying to read this on and off all day, but I have to read it for class tomorrow, so I'm going to do that. And then I thought I was on track, but I was one book behind. So I read this little graphic novel today, Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson, and I gave it 5 stars. It is a very, like, it's not a heavy 5-star because this was a very simple book, but I loved it so much that there was like no other choice but to rate it 5 stars. It is about this little garlic lady, and she lives on a farm with her friend Carrot and a bunch of other vegetables, and they were all brought to life by this witch, and she takes care of them, and they garden for her, and it's very, very sweet. And then one day a vampire moves into town, and of course they send Garlic to defeat the vampire, and she's very anxious and she's very cute, and I just loved this. It was just so precious, and the illustrations were lovely, and I just loved it. And I loved the little vampire subplot, which I'm not gonna like spoil, but it was really good. And I just really enjoyed this. So 5 stars. That was my makeup book from yesterday, and now the other book from today is Manfred by Lord Byron. And then I'm also like 80% done with Beloved by Toni Morrison, which is still just like a very difficult read, but very, like, just fantastic. Like, Toni Morrison is such a great writer. And then I'm like close to done with a few books right now. So I'm on track, and it should not be a problem continuing on, at least for a few days. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and I will check in with you guys later. Okay, so it is the same night, and I finished Manfred. I think it's like a 3.5. I liked a lot of what was going on. I think it was just like a headspace thing for me tonight, where it's just like, I'm tired. I am not in the mood to read like a classic. So I just didn't enjoy it that much. I liked all the elements of it, and then what I did absorb, I did enjoy. I think I'm going to return to this when I'm in a bit of a better mood. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about Manfred. I think I'm going to start another book tonight, just like read like 20 pages or something before I go to bed. Something off of my TBR stack. I don't know what yet. So I will probably check in tomorrow and let you know what the book I started was. So, good night. It is day 13, and we're doing good on the challenge. So, good night. Sleep well. Hello. It is the 15th, and I think that I last updated you yesterday. I didn't get to update you sooner because I was having a COVID scare, so that was stressful, but it's looking like things are okay right now. So, I finished Beloved by Toni Morrison yesterday, and I gave it 4 stars. I really need to like let it sit a little more before I give a full review, because I feel like I don't want to say anything that isn't smart about it, because it's like, we all know it's a beautiful book. We all know it's Toni Morrison and it's written like, she's such a good writer, but I want to just let it sit a little longer and figure out some real things to say about it. But I really enjoyed it and would recommend. I'm also currently reading Love After the End, which is like an indigenous queer speculative fiction anthology, and that's really cool. I'm really liking that. I usually don't like sci-fi at all, but this one is different. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I'm listening to Everyone Knows That Your Mother is a Witch, and I don't remember the author's name, but that is also really fun. I'm about halfway through that. So I'm gonna finish one of those tomorrow, and that'll be my book. But we are on track. Day 15, doing good. And I don't have COVID, which is great. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is the 17th, and I wanted to come on here and do a little reading update. I'm still on track. Things are going good. 2 days ago, I read The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, a Goosebumps book by R.L. Stine. Goosebumps was my favorite as a kid, and I just like felt like I had to revisit it. I don't know. I wanted a short little read, and I thought that would be fun. So I read The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and I rated it 3 stars. It's about this kid that moves to a swamp in the middle of nowhere in Florida because his dad is doing some research, and werewolf stuff happens. That's all you need to know. The audiobook was 2 hours long. It was very simple and fun, and I had a lot of fun revisiting it. And then yesterday I read Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch, which was really interesting. It is set in Germany, and I think it's translated. It's set in like the 1600s, and it's about this woman that gets accused of witchcraft, and it's very like satirical and funny. Like, it's obvious that she is not a witch. Like, people are just accusing her for like making them a thing of bitters that upset their stomach, or talking to her cow too much. Like, nothing crazy, but everyone's accusing her of being a witch, and so it kind of follows her going through that. It was very funny. It was very lighthearted. It was a very quick read. My girlfriend read it, and she said it would make a good play, and I've kind of like latched onto that thought because it really would. It really would. I gave it a 3.5. I really enjoyed it, but I don't feel like it's going to stick with me too much. So that's what I just read. Right now, I am almost done with the physical copy of Love After the End, and I'm really enjoying it, especially as someone who isn't into sci-fi at all. I've been having a lot of fun with it, surprisingly. And then I'm currently reading Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin, and that is just a sweet little children's, like, middle grade, I think, retelling of Snow White and Rose Red, and that's really sweet. I just started it like an hour ago, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I also just started Heavy by Kiese Layman, which was recommended to me by my friend Matilda. I don't really know what it's about at all yet. I'm literally in the first like 5 minutes of it, but I'm excited to see where it takes me. It was a recommendation from my friend. She gave it 5 stars, so might as well check it out. So that's what I'm reading right now. I'm looking at my TBR shelf right now, and I was kind of overviewing like what I've read this month. And I've only read 1 5-star, and honestly, it was a light 5-star. It was on Garlic and the Vampire, which is a sweet little graphic novel. So it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a life-changing book, but like, how was I supposed to rate it anything else than 5 stars? Because I did love it, and I'm still thinking about it, and it was like the cutest thing I've ever read. But besides that, I've had no other 5-star reads this month so far, and I need to change that. So I'm going to pick a book off of my TBR shelf that I think is going to be a 5-star read. So I'll let you know when I decide. I'm also this morning going to go to my girlfriend's house in the next like hour or so, and our favorite bookstore, Firestorm Co-op in Asheville, if you are around the area. It's this awesome fucking like anarchist bookstore co-op, and it has such an amazing selection. They're having a giant sale today. Apparently they have like a yearly sale. So I'll try to take some little clips for you, and obviously I'll give you a haul because I'm really, really excited about that. I feel like this vlog has very much just been check-ins, and I also want to make it more of a vlog. So I'm going to take you along on my like bookish endeavors. So that's what I'm doing today, and I will check in with you guys later. Hello. So I am coming from my bookshelf to show you what I got from the Firestorm sale. And then after that, my girlfriend and I went to another bookstore because I didn't spend enough money, I guess. I did. So I thought I would look over what I got with you. I got 8 books in total. So I got 4 books from Firestorm. I got Burning Sugar by Cecily Bell Blaine, and this is a book of poetry from a lesbian author. I flipped it to a random page and I really wanted it, so I thought it was fun. Oh, this is the poem that I liked that made me buy it. It's called Listening to Tracy Chapman While Observing Art. There is no gender here. We are wives only to each other. Come on. And then I got this book called Vanishing Monuments. I don't know anything about it, but my girlfriend recommended it to me. She hasn't read it either, but it has a non-binary protagonist. So I'm excited about that. I also got Hurricane Season by Fernanda Melchor, and I also don't really know much about this one, but it looked cool and it was half off, so it was like $7. And then I got Lady Killers, Deadly Women Throughout History by Tori Telfer, which, I don't know, it seems fun. I hope I enjoy it. It's, you know, I love my little dark nonfiction stuff, and my favorite Caitlin Doughty is blurbed on the back, so I thought that would be fun. So that's what I got from Firestorm. I spent like $40, and most of these books were, 2 of them were half off and 2 of them were 25% off, so pretty psyched about that. And then afterwards, we went to another bookstore. This time it was a used bookstore, so I got a lot of older stuff. I got this book of poetry by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This is an illustration from Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is one of my favorite things that I've read so far this year. I'm going to be writing a research paper on it, so I thought it would be nice to have a copy of it that isn't just my shitty anthology for class. I just love this illustration so much. And then I got The Vanishing Hitchhiker, American Urban Legends and Their Meanings by Jan Harold Brunvard. And I'm really excited about this. I want to be a folklorist one day, or at least specialize in it on my own. And I'm really interested in American urban legends, so I'm excited to check this out. And then I got 2 Peter Benchley books because I can just not resist a sea horror novel. I got White Shark. I love, like, it's so 90s. Then I got Beast, and I love the back of this. I love a full back, full color author photo. It just feels so powerful. So I got those. This one, as you can tell, I think is about like a giant squid. And I've read another squid horror novel, Below by Ryan Lockwood. Was it a good book? No. Did I love it? Yes. And then White Shark, I think, is about a megalodon. So I'm pretty excited about that. Oh, also very important to note that the main character's name of Beast is fucking Whip Darling. The main character's name is Whip Darling. I just thought that was notable. There's also a sweet little note in this and like a library embossing. Dear Dad, here's a housewarming book Rick and I thought you would like. It's full of sailing terms and real monsters. Enjoy! And that is from 1991. So I just thought it was sweet. And I'm excited to read these once it gets a little warmer out. Like, you know, go down to the river, read some spooky sea horror. I fucking love sea horror. If you're new here, I love it so much. It's like a guilty pleasure, but I don't feel bad about it. So that's everything I got from the bookstore the other day. I also finished reading Snow and Rose, and it was very sweet. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was really cute, but I know it's not gonna stick with me. I kind of expected a little more from it. If you liked the Wildwood series, I would recommend checking out Snow and Rose, It's not as good, but it's similar vibes. And then after that, I finished Love After the End, which was so good. I gave it 4 stars. There were some stories that stuck out like more than others. A few of them I didn't really vibe with, but most of them I really enjoyed. And this is like my first foray into sci-fi. So I'm excited to read more stuff like this because it was really good. I also read Stone Fruit by Lee Lay, and that was just an amazing graphic novel. I gave it 5 stars. It's about a lesbian couple that is like taking care of one of their nieces, and it's a lot more than that. It's very sad. It's very real. The art was beautiful, and I just loved that, so I gave that 5 stars. I also finished Heavy, which I gave 4 stars, which was amazing as well. Very thought-provoking, very, like, I don't know, a very powerful book. I really enjoyed that. And I'm currently reading Disability Visibility, which is a audiobook collection of stories from disabled people. I'm really enjoying that so far. Very relatable, amazing. Like, I feel like this is going to be a 5-star. And today I'm going to start reading the physical copy of Zero Saints by Gabino Iglesias that he very kindly sent to me. So I wanted to check in with you guys, and yeah, it's the first day of spring, so I'm very happy, I'm very excited. I have to go to work, unfortunately, but I just wanted to check in with you guys, and I will see you soon. Hello. It has been a few days since I checked in with you, so I'm sorry about that. I have just been super busy with schoolwork, and I have let the vlog fall behind. I am still on track with reading, though, which is great. I have read 24 books this month. Well, okay, 23. I'm hoping to finish the 24th in the next few hours. So last time I checked in, I was reading Disability Visibility, which I finished, and I gave it 5 stars because it was amazing. It was just so cool to read from so many disabled authors. My cat is running around. And just, I don't know, it was an amazing experience, and I feel like I learned so much, so that was a really important book for me. I really want more. I wish there was more of it. I know there are a lot of other books like it, though, so I'm gonna look into those soon. Next, I read Zori by Laird Hunt, and he also wrote In the House in the Dark of the Woods, which I don't know if I've talked about on this channel yet because I didn't do my February wrap-up, but that is one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. I wrote a paper on it for an independent study that I'm doing, but anyways, Zori was very different. It was a historical fiction about a woman named Zori who is growing up in like Depression era Bloomington, Indiana is where she's from, which is cool because that's right next to my mom and my grandma's like 1,000-person small town. So that was really cool. I feel like it kind of gave me like an extra insight. Like I could really picture the setting pretty perfectly. I've been to Bloomington many times. So that was really cool. And it was just like, I don't know, it followed a very like uneventful life. But I really enjoyed it. It was very like mundane but just in a really lovely way, and I really like Laird Hunt's writing, so I gave this a 4 out of 5. And then next I read The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nevo, which I really wanted to like, but I only ended up giving it 3 stars because I just didn't know what was going on. I liked the book, like it was very beautifully written, but I just had a really hard time grasping what was going on. I think I should have read it physically. I listened to the audiobook. I think if I read it physically, I would have had a better time reading it. I am going to read the second one, I think When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, because I really liked the atmosphere and I liked the writing. I thought it was really beautiful, but I just, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. So I'm currently reading Zero Saints by Gabino Iglesias, which is so good. It's so fucked up. It's so violent. I'm about 100 pages in, and crazy shit just keeps happening. Coyote Songs is one of my favorite books ever, and this could be a contender. Like, this is going really good so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope that I keep enjoying it because I love Gabino Iglesias. And then I'm also listening to Notes on an Execution, and that's like a new release that just came out like a month ago, I think. I got a little skip the line loan on Libby, so I'm happy about that. I'm like 80% done with that, and it is a good fucking book. Like, I didn't really expect to love it. I just thought it looked interesting because, I don't know, sometimes New York Times bestseller deals or like things that Goodreads is just like throwing at you constantly is like actually not very good. This is really good so far. It's about a man who's on death row. It's the day of his execution, and it's going back and telling his life story through like the women that knew him. So that's really interesting. It's really sad, but I'm really liking it so far. Also, Zero Saints is about a man in Austin, Texas, who is wrapped up in some cartel shit, and there's also like a supernatural thing going on. It's crazy. It's violent. It's brutal. I'm loving it. So, the 2 books that I'm reading right now, I'm really enjoying. So that's what I'm reading right now. I'm going to do better with the rest of this vlog, and I will check in with you tomorrow, and I'll let you know what I'm reading. I'm hoping to finish a book tonight, and if I don't, I'll read 2 tomorrow. But reading is going good. I've read 24 books. This year, I've read 48 books so far, which is fucking crazy. I'm thriving. So, I will check in with you guys in the morning. Good night. Hello. It is Friday the 25th, so we're getting really close to the end of the challenge, which is crazy. I'm still like in disbelief that it's worked out for me this long. Anyways, I finished Notes on an Execution last night right before I went to bed, and it was so good. I gave it 4 stars. It was beautiful. It was haunting. It made me very sad for like every character involved. It's a very like, I don't know, it really makes you consider every single person's backstory and how it leads to their choices, and like, are there good or bad people? And like, still, yes, but I don't know. It was just really interesting and thought-provoking. So 4 stars for that. I also listened to, while I was at work today, Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones, and that was just a small little novella, and it was ridiculous in a really good way. I gave it 3.5 stars. And I said in my Goodreads review that it's like R.L. Stine's Fear Street meets Frankenstein. That's all I'll say. It was really fun. Definitely go into it lighthearted, because you don't want to expect it to be like a serious horror novel. And then I am going to keep reading Zero Saints. I'm about to go outside because it's beautiful out, read a story that I have to read for homework, and read some Zero Saints. So, I just want to check in with you guys and let you know how things are going, and I will talk to you soon. Hello. So, it is a few days later. It is the 30th now. It is Wednesday, and things have fallen apart a little bit. Everything's fine, but it is the 30th, and I have only read 28 books. I have just been really busy with school and stuff in the past few days, and I have just fallen behind a bit. Also, as you can tell, I've fallen behind on the video aspect of this a decent amount. So, a little stressed out, but don't worry, guys, because we got this. I have some short books. All of that aside, what I've read while I was gone, I finished Zero Saints, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it. I love Gabino Iglesias. It is no secret here. But it just didn't pack like the exact same punch that Coyote Songs did, which is totally fine. I really enjoyed it, but Coyote Songs is just my favorite of all time. I am so excited, though. I don't think I'm gonna put it in this vlog, but I'm going to start The Devil Takes You Home very, very soon in the next few days. So I'm excited about that. I might make a reading vlog about it. I'm kind of thinking about it right now. I think I'll make a reading vlog for The Devil Takes You Home because it's my first arc ever. So I think I'll do that. Anyways, Zero Saints, 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. It was so violent. It was so fun. It was so fast-paced. I think I would like to read it again, but only in like 1 or 2 sittings. I kind of had to spread it out over a bunch of days just because of time, and I think the reading experience would have been a lot better if it was all at once. And I also read Devil House by John Darnielle, and unfortunately, I really didn't like it. I gave it a 2 star, and honestly, like maybe I should even drop it a little further because I just I feel like I wasted my time with this. I was so excited for it. I mean, like, look at the cover. It is like one of the best covers that I've seen this year so far. I thought it was, I think it gets amazing. I really wanted to buy the physical copy, and I'm glad I didn't, because it was just not it. It was a really long book. I think the physical copy is like 450 pages. Not worth your time, not worth your energy. Like, the initial concept felt interesting to me, about like this true crime writer that moves into a house where something bad happened and is writing about it, and it's also talking about like the ethics of the last true crime story he wrote. That sounds interesting, and I thought it was going to be spooky. It kind of reminded me of the plot of the movie Sinister, which is like one of my guilty pleasures. I really like that movie. Anyways, it was not like that. It was not scary. I usually hate when people say like this wasn't horror, but this didn't feel like horror to me. And like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if you feel like it was horror and you have a reason why, please tell me. But I didn't get that at all. I feel like it was marketed wrong. Like, I think it was marketed to the wrong audience. So, I just didn't like it. It felt overwritten. There were so many, like, constant perspective shifts. Like, it used first, second, and third person, like, casually. I'm just gonna ignore her. It just changed it constantly. It constantly changed characters. I didn't know whose point of view we were talking from. It was just a really frustrating reading experience, and I wish I avoided it. I also realized halfway through that the author wrote Universal Harvester, which was one of my least favorite books of last year. So, like, this checks out. I didn't know that somehow. And I will never read anything by him again, unfortunately. That's where I am right now. It is the 30th. I'm about to go to bed. I'm really tired. I feel like you can probably tell. It's been a long day. But it's the 30th. I've read 28 books. And the challenge is over tomorrow. So that means I need to read 3 books tomorrow. Which I think I can do, honestly. I mean, I have to. Otherwise, could you imagine if I made it through this whole video without slipping up and then I just couldn't read 3 books on the last day? I'm not going to disappoint you like that. I got you. I'm going to finish an audiobook. I'm hopefully going to finish another audiobook, and then I'm going to read a short book tomorrow. So, that's where we are. I'm tired. I was going to read tonight, but I think I'm just going to go to bed and read in the morning. I have 3 books to read tomorrow to finish the challenge. We got this. It's going to be fine. I will check in with you in the morning. Good night. Hello everybody, it is Miles from like 2 weeks later. I'm finally finishing up editing this video today, and I wanted to do a final check-in. First of all, I didn't really mention this in the video, but I got 100 subscribers. This is my little 100 subscriber special, so I really appreciate that, and it is just so crazy, and I just wanted to acknowledge it, that I appreciate every single one of you so much, and this has been awesome. I'm really hoping during the summer I can make some more videos and hopefully keep that momentum going, because school has been crazy. That's why I haven't gotten this video out. It's finals week right now. I'm going crazy, but we're fine. I finished The Blue Aspic. I rated it 4 stars. The illustrations were great. It was really fun. I also did not end up finishing Mapping the Interior because I realized that I had read 31 books. I forgot to include Lamia by John Keats, which I gave 3.5. It is a long poem about a snake woman seductress situation, and that was really fun. I wanted to share some reading stats from the month that I wrote down, so I thought that would be kind of fun. I had 0 1-star books, I had 1 2-star book, I had 12 3-stars, 15 4-stars, and 3 5-stars. So my favorites of the month were Disability Visibility, Stone Fruit, Garlic and the Vampire, Love After the End, and Zero Saints. And then my only 2-star was my least favorite of the month, and that was Devil House. I just did not like that book at all. And then I read 14 physical books and listened to 17 audiobooks. So that was actually surprisingly even. I really thought that it was going to be way more audiobooks than physical, but I did my best. And then I read and listened to roughly 6,000 pages this month, which is fucking crazy. It's a little over, I think it's like 6,200. That's nuts. That's so many pages. So those are my little reading stats for the month, which I just thought was interesting, and I wanted to share those. My top genres, I read a lot of poetry for class, I read a lot of horror, I read some nonfiction, a lot of really cool stuff. So overall, how did I like this challenge? Would I do it again? Would I recommend it? It was really fun. I liked it a lot, honestly. It was a good tool to try things out of my comfort zone and read small things that have been on my TBR for a while and try to kind of clear up my TBR a bit. And I definitely did do that. I don't know if I would recommend it unless you are like a super avid reader, because there were times when I did feel like I was forcing myself to read when I didn't really want to, or maybe I shouldn't have. But overall, it was a really fun experience, and I'm glad I did it. I might do it again sometime, definitely not for a while. Since this, it is the 14th now, and I have taken definitely not a reading break because I'm still actively reading, but I've slowed down a lot. I feel like I've only read like 5-ish books this month or something like that. And I'm currently reading a really long book called Crossroads, and I can't remember the author's name, but I'm listening to that audiobook, and it's very long, and I'm enjoying it. After reading all of these like really short, small books and long poems, I am enjoying reading something long and like really getting to know characters and like really getting into a fictional world. So that is that. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers. It is crazy to me that 100 people are watching my channel. That is so, so cool. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing down below. Like this video if you want to. Comment down below, let me know how many books you have read this year, if you have ever done a 30-day reading challenge, what did you think about it? And if you have any other like weird reading challenges that you think I should do, let me know. I would really like to do something like this again. I've thought about doing a 24-hour readathon before, which is kind of in the same vein. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully soon. I am hoping to do a April wrap-up and kind of get my shit together, because I want to keep making videos, but I just have not had the time lately. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Me and Adelaide appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.